Lagos State can use to resolve their cases instead of litigation.
All right. And it's much faster.
Yes. Our main objective is free. It's not cumbersome.
Hold on, let's take one by one. It is free.
It is free.
Yeah.
It is confidential.
It is confidential.
It is fast.
It is fast.
You do not pay a penny
So
to
you
bring
have
your
to
matter to Lagos State.
When you become a victim, it's important to understand that the people who are the victims are the people who are the consequence of the contravention of the...
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right, let me come back to the GM. What should the stakeholders be doing now? What should we be doing? And recognize for us who the stakeholders are. Don't let us assume also that we know it.
Thank you very much. I believe we're all stakeholders, but for the purpose of this program, the stakeholder will fall back onto us on this side. And first and foremost, I'd like to narrow it down to what I do within our own board stroke agency. We have a mortgage and property law as amended in 2015, which tactically says that we have to create a conducive environment to all Lagos residents who want to come onto the program that the Lagos State Mortgage Board was established for, which is to reduce the housing deficit through an instrumental payment system called the Rent-to-Own program. Now, exactly that is what it is. So for you not to fall victim, there are certain things that have been put in place. Now, for example, we have the pre-qualification process, which is you getting the unit or the allocation. Now, at the pre-qualification process, we don't want you to be a victim of default. So what we do, there is a debt-to-income ratio category, which is 33%, 33.1% of your monthly earnings. Once you go over that, we don't qualify you. And the only reason is we don't want you to be a victim of default. So that starts immediately from the pre-qualification process. There is this other part where after you have been successful, we now have a counseling session. That counseling session gives you the do's and don'ts, and that is before you sign the agreement. This is trying to protect the consumer that is the Lagos resident, I believe. So all these processes are to protect the consumer. So we have that counseling session which tells you about the do's and don'ts, your timely repayments, when it is due, facilities management payments, what we do not expect you to do whilst you're within the particular time of repayment. Now, after which we do more of advocacy and even educating all intending allottees. So we make sure that all these processes are put in line. Even we have a mediation center within the agency as well, because we don't expect that over the 120 months, things might go a little bit horrible. We don't pray for that. Now, at the mediation, when you come for mediation, maybe either for job loss, we try to take you through so you don't be a victim at the end of the day. We try to take you through and restructure probably your repayment.
You restructure it?
Yes, you restructure it.
All right, let me interject there, and I will ask you two questions.
All right, thank you.
Basically, the law says the labor law says your salary, your monthly salary should not be encumbered beyond 33.4%. 1/3, 33.1. Now, there could be people, remember, it says that way they're ensuring that you also don't earn below the poverty line. They are using it to protect you. It's a law in place. But people do what you call multiple access to credit. So they have already taken that loan from you, and then they will take other loans. How do you ensure that at the end of the day, they still don't fall victim? And this is when we'll come to you after he answers that question.
Right. What we expect is you come to us clean and declare everything you've got in the loan. If you don't declare, there is the possibility when you get into that loan, you start defaulting. And that is an easy way to repossess.
Right. What is the role of credit check agencies? Do we already have credit consumer agencies that check the credibility or the creditworthiness of people that come to you? Are you working with any? Are we aware that we have credit agencies in the country?
Yes, some are coming on. We're engaging at the moment some, because from my experience, I can remember if you go globally, you have people, Equifax, CFAX, and all whatnot, who do all those credit checks. But we're working with some agency as we speak. When it's concluded, we'll put it out.
All right, so what the credit agency does is, if you default on a loan, for example, and you don't repay, they will register your name in their database, and every financial institution that you approach to access funding, they will first refer to them. Now, if your name appears on it, that means you will not be able to get access to credit until you clear. So, sir, coming back to you now, Credit Protection Agency. What are you doing? Let's bring it up. Lagos State Consumer Protection. What are we doing in Lagos State? We're always the flagship, we're always ahead of everybody. What are we doing? What is the council for other states? What can we leverage on what we are doing in Lagos State?
Yes, thank you very much. I respectfully stand on the already established protocol. Yes, what is I hear you clearly what is ASCOPA all about. The Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, as an agency, it started as a unit during the regime of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The vision then in 1999 was a unit created to protect consumers in Lagos State under the Lagos State Ministry of Justice. Fast forward, in the year 2015, a law established the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, now under the Lagos State Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Industry. What is the mission of the agency? To ensure that consumers in Lagos State do get value for their money, do get satisfaction for whatever product bought or whatever services rendered. And also to ensure that consumers' rights are protected and also to promote consumer rights in Lagos State. And that we've been doing since the year 2018 when we started operation. And I must say that consumers do have rights. And the rights of consumers are not limited to ensure that right to safety, right to be informed, right to seek redress. I think that is most important, because if any consumer think that his or her rights have been infringed upon, the right place to come is to the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency. Also, much as consumers do have rights, they also have responsibilities. I think the last panel touched on the issue of collaborators. Because the government is a stakeholder in the business of estate. And if the due process is not followed, we in Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency will ensure that consumers do not suffer. And how? If someone is alleged to have collaborated with who and the consumer paid money, and that has happened severally, people have brought their matters to LASCOPA. And I can say it without mixing words that we've ensured that the consumers do not suffer. So I will say here that consumers should not suffer in silence. Do not keep quiet. No matter whose ox is God, it's zero tolerance for breach of consumer rights in Lagos State. And consumers too, you have responsibility, and part of your responsibility is to do due diligence. If you follow the due process, if you do follow the requirements, and you get the approval, nobody will disturb you. Because you cannot put something on nothing. So as consumers out there, I will say, you can lodge your complaints at the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency for whatever consumer breach that is taking place maybe in your daily activities. You can come to LASCOPA and lodge your complaints, and this you can do by walking into any of our offices. The head office is at 2B Soja, Adepepa Close Open. We have other offices at Ikoyi Obalende, Bariga, LCDA, Badagry Local Government, and Ojo Local Government. And also, you can lodge your complaints to any of our social media handles, be it Facebook, Twitter, now X, or Instagram, and also you can read LASCOPA at lagostate.gov.ng. In LASCOPA, we don't know what consumers to suffer. And I will also say, at this time of the year, there's all forms of things that are coming up, especially people that will tell you they are doing promos. You have to be very wary and very concerned. And I also have to mention about, I can't keep quiet on this, about consumables too. A lot of things are being put out there for consumers to take, which are very dangerous and hazardous to your health. But here we're talking about the rights of consumers as regards real estate. So do not suffer in silence. Whoever that is involved, report to LASCOPA, and we'll ensure that you get value for your money and satisfaction.
Thank you very much. All right, let's make welcome. Yeah, if you want to clap, you can clap. That's a good question. All right, let's make welcome the Executive Secretary, CEO, Mr. Kayode Omotosho, Mortgage Banking Association of Nigeria. So I wanted you to take a breath first. That's why I haven't asked you any questions, but I have two questions for you. So, the Consumer Protection Agency, let me ask you an extension question. For every wrong, there must be collaboration to make the wrong happen. If a consumer has agreed to a compromise, because I'm going to ask you two questions, can they still come to you even though they were co-perpetrators to contravene the law? And also from the time you started and up to now, because we like data, what has been the upward increase of people using that facility so that we will know whether people are aware that this benefit has been created by the government of Lagos State? That's the question I'd like to know.
Thank you very much. If you can remember vividly, I said you cannot put something on nothing. What is illegal is illegal. Whichever way you want to cut corners and come above it, you and the collaborators, it is assumed that you've not done the needful. So if you have not done the needful, the state, Lagos State government will not suffer for that. If you do not have the necessary documents, if you don't get a valid go ahead to do anything, irrespective of how you came about it, all the shenanigans is between you and your collaborators. So The state must not suffer. If you've not done the needful, definitely you will go down for it. The law will take its course. Again, on the issue of how much we've done, if I should talk about data, we have over 8,000 complaints that we've received. And we've recovered over 400 million for consumers in Lagos State. And this is into different categories. Is it automobiles? There's a particular automobile, 3 automobile companies that sold defective vehicles. We were able to recover their funds back to them because those vehicles were still under warranty. It's on record. Also from IKDC, the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency have recovered over 70 million naira as credit adjustments for consumers in Lagos State.
I that's where you put your hands together.
Over 30 billion adjustment for people. And for those of you that are buying electronics, it's on record. There's nothing like no refund policy. Nothing like no refund policy. If you buy a product that is still under warranty, or the product you bought within 1, 2, 3 months, it starts giving you issues. Those products are substandard in nature. And if they are substandard, you as a consumer should not suffer for that. Also, like I said, at this period of the year, the end of December, you discover that lots of supermarkets, lots of grocery stores, and some of these pharmaceutical stores, they are putting out products that are about to expire. If you get a product, they have a shelf that they call Pro. I'm buying, let me say, a tin of Bonvita, a big one, that will expire on the 18th. Today is what? Today is 14th. Are you expecting me to consume that within 4 days? If I cannot consume that within 4 days, why do you intend to sell expired products to me? Also, insurance. A whole lot is going on in insurance company. They come to you and tell you off because they want to make money off you. When it's time for them to deliver or to give you the, I don't know the term they use, maybe premium or something, they will start pushing you around. We've recovered over 17 million naira for consumers. It's on record. All I'm saying is that we will continue to do consumer education. And we want to tell you, do not suffer in silence. Lodge your complaints. If you cannot walk into any of our offices, you can open it. Most of us don't have phones. Go on Twitter, go on X, go on Instagram, go on Facebook. You will see Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency. And I can assure you, once your complaint is lodged, definitely somebody will be there to respond to you and tell you that it's receiving the necessary attention.
Thank you, Chair. Can we put our hands together? Sir, let me quickly come to Mr. Kayode Motosho. Mortgage banking. You represent the whole body of mortgage bankers. I would like to ask you this question. Do we have a traditional mortgage system existing, or do we have what is called a payment plan? Can you educate us, sir? So the traditional mortgage plan takes about 10, 15, 20 years to repay globally. But we sometimes say within 6 months, 12 months, so that's why I'm asking that question.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Babuka. And I want to, there's only called traditional mortgage. Mortgage is global. It's only whether we practice in Nigeria or abroad. But to answer you succinctly, we have established mortgage system in Nigeria. It is definitely between 10, 15, 25, 30 years. We have 30 years that is established today. So if we refer to anything shorter, 6 months, 1 year, those are realistic. They are called overdraft facilities, not mortgage. So those are just short-term finance.
I'm asking on behalf of the stakeholders.
Yes, and I'm asking you on behalf of the stakeholders.
Fantastic. Now, this man has seen this. I was opportune to have started working in UK. And the moment you start in your 20s, you have access to mortgage. And by the time you're spending 25 years working, you probably will have paid off your first mortgage and along the line you can. Now, there's a generation that is younger than our generation that looks and they are continually asking the question, how will we own our own homes with the way the situation is now?
Okay.
What is the counsel to them?
So this is the message. Culturally, you are asked to borrow in Nigeria because people tell you you're borrowing something. That is not what mortgage is. It's supposed to create an investment for you. So why can't you borrow in order for you to be well into the future? Instead of stealing, why don't you borrow? It's a legalized form of creating wealth. So today we have 3 systems. We have direct home ownership, which you can do through mortgage. We have rent to own, which answers the questions of our young elites. They do not want to own the mansions that people in this room want to. They want to own little. In fact, collaborate, own a flat, one room together, and just the common. So we have the rent to own, we also have the lease to own, so that we can manage the expectations of all Nigerians.
All right, thank you very much. Let me come back to you. She's representing the Lagos State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Lawako Pegusan, and she's also representing the Director of Citizens Mediation Center, Mrs. Viola Usedi, and she's representing herself. So can we put our hands together for her? She's very important. All right, I'm trying to manage the time. What is your closing counsel to everybody regarding consumer rights, protections, victims' rights, and everything? What's your closing counsel?
Thank you very much. Because my agency sees victims of developers and landlords and stuff every day, it's very, it's very, very hard for me. But I would advocate that stakeholders, which I mean, for example, the RERA, other agencies, private companies, in the real estate industry, should advocate for transparent transactions, enforce ethical practices, and support the rights of consumers and victims. Regular industry education and collaboration with regulatory bodies, particularly LASRERA, can enhance accountability and protect stakeholders. I would encourage LASRERA to have that e-platform for developers, which is accessible online to potential buyers or potential homeowners or people who want property developed, so they can access it very easily before signing the dotted line.
Thank you very much. James, sir, you spoke about warranty. Many times I hear people say they can exchange it, they can't bring it back, they can't return it. The question I want to ask you is, to Nigerians, especially Lagosians, do they understand and acknowledge that they can defend these rights, and if these rights are not adhered to, they can come to you? Can you help us give them an assurance that you are open and you are available? That would be your closing counsel.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, I'm using this point to assure Lagosians, because Las Copa is about Lagos. And I can tell you again, there's nothing like no refund policy. If you buy a product and you're not satisfied with that product, and that product was used according to the instruction, please do not suffer in silence. Come to the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency. You get value for your money and you get satisfaction. Do not suffer in silence. Even if any government, you can see the transparency of the Lagos State government bringing LASCOPA here, a state government agency, and there are some of you that will come into our office to lodge complaint, even against some of the agencies of the state. Yeah, we've been doing it, we've done it before, even Lagos State Water Corporation. If someone is rendering services to you and you are paying for that service, you should get value for that money, irrespective of it being a private or government institution or agency. Be rest assured, we'll continue to do this with continuous education for the public. But be rest assured that your rights as a consumer in Lagos State will be protected by LASCOPA, no matter who is involved.
Right. So there is one thing. I'd like you to also touch on the fact that should the citizens take the law into their hands. Last weekend I was in a store in Lekki, and obviously this lady had been told no return, whatever, she can't get her money back. And she was so upset that she began to break things in the store. And at the end of the day, they got the policeman, and she now got into the trouble. Can you please counsel that you don't take the law into your hands?
Yes, thank you. Definitely you don't take law into your hands. If you have bought a product, definitely you'll be issued a receipt. And if that product does not satisfy what you want, even, I will say, probably because some people don't know about the agency. I think if you go on the net, or maybe any of the social media and try to, there are some other protection, consumer protection companies, but you will find in Lagos State, do not take law into your hands, because the destruction of other people's property is not commensurate with the product you buy. So definitely you will be charged for either assault, battery, and destroying other people's property. We continue to do it, even with banks. Do not let any bank tell you that you made a erroneous transfer. Or you use the ATM or the POS and the money did not come out, and they tell you, they will come and show us bad evidence. We recovered from even people who came in from outside the country to come and give testimony how their money were refunded back to them by the banks. At some of the banks.
Thank you very much. There's one more question. There's one more. Yeah, if you're clapping, clap. Shelf display price. Hold on, sir. So you see a product on the shelf, and there's a distinct price for it. And you take that product because that was to you a value. And you get to the counter, the payment counter, and a different value higher than what you saw appears. What do you do?
It is illegal. You must display the prices of product you're selling. And peradventure, if the prices displayed with the product is different from what is in their system, when you get to the till, complain immediately. If you need to do a video, do a video. The agency have sealed so many supermarkets in this Lagos State for breach of consumer rights and selling expired product and not displaying the prices of the product. It is illegal. The law is very clear. And like I said earlier, Mr. Governor do have zero tolerance for breach of consumer rights in Lagos State, no matter who sources law, no matter who is involved. It is illegal not to display the price. And it's also illegal for the price of the product displayed different from that is in the system. That is a breach. We may invite you for mediation And I also want to tell our listeners here that the services offered by Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency is free. Per adventure, we go into mediation, we are able to resolve through mediation and conciliation. We revert to the court. The judiciary has given us consumer courts, magistrate court, and the high court. And we go to court on behalf of consumers free. You need not to pay any fee. Please, a big round of applause for the
All right, thank you very much. Can you please again for my panel, can we put our hands together, celebrate our governor? This is your Lagos, this is my Lagos, this is our Lagos. We can do better than that without class.
We want to appreciate Lagos State Government for having moved very, very far in terms of title transfer. But we still want it to do more. But before I go there, the main one is on Las Vegas. We were part of Las Vegas, and we are happy that Las Vegas is doing well. But it remains one thing to be done. That is, we need to start prosecuting very clearly, in addition to what the consumer gentleman has said. We need to show the public when stakeholders say in terms of developer not meeting obligations. We need to show the public that regulations are being well adhered, and we must make reform to the consumers and citizens that are affected. This will go a long way in exactly what
So, enforcement, we spoke about it yesterday, and today it is also been spoken of, and you are talking about it again. Can we please celebrate my panel? Thank you very much. MC. All right, we'll take a quick photograph.
All right, can we celebrate our panel one more time with a round of applause?